Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the 4 hour time frame. And so we just had a bit of a shakeout, fake out over the weekend. Uh, Coming down a little bit farther than I thought we would, but still not coming down and closing this CME futures gap right here, which I will continue to say we will never close. Um, but what this does is get a lot of shorts involved thinking we are going to close that and they're going to make money on the way down here, and they're not. They're going to get liquidated, and everybody's going to collect up all these bitcoins with enormous fees. Um, Tried to send my dad some Bitcoin for Christmas, and it was $36. So that is not acceptable. Bitcoin is not free. And that was on $100. I was giving him $100, $36 fee. Yeah, that's so. All these anybody trying to sell that narrative that the banks charge all these fees and whatever. And Bitcoin's free and instantaneous. No, it's going to take over a half hour, and it was going to be $36 to send $100. Are you freaking serious? Bitcoin's got to get its act together. Okay, back to the charts. So, for the longest time, since sometime in October, we've been trading in this orange parallel channel, heading upward like a little elevator. Come on, I hate it when it does that. I click on the wrong. This is way back here, September, October. Boom, traveling in the orange parallel channel up through the various colored channels, white, green, and blue. Currently moving out of the white and green into the blue using that orange parallel channel. I've gone over this time and time again. I'm not going to bore you with the white, green, and blue parallel channel stories. But what we have done in the past few hours is we've actually fallen out of this orange channel for the first time. And which led me to believe, hey, possibly we are forming, we've come up as far as we're going to at this rate in this orange channel. And it might be time to transition to a channel with a lesser slope, which leads us to this purple channel here. And so it has contact here, contact here, contact here. And what's really, really interesting is it has contact with a point that I just recently came back to right here. And then you can also see it hits here Monday, September 11th. Anyway, it has lots of other contact points. And the top hits here. What is this? Oh, it's August 29th. Yeah, not a lot of significance there for me, but it is hitting all those points. Oh, actually, that's just where I chose the top of the channel right there. It looked like a good spot. And it gives the center line some nice little points of contact here, here, here. We'll see what happens with that purple channel. Maybe we just pop right back up into the orange one right here. Who knows? I do expect that we will see a pretty good size move upwards here. And we could be starting that right now. We're back up to 41.2 after coming down to about 40,005. But still not forming a lower low. I want to point that out on the RSI. So we had this low here. We were forming a higher low here. Oh, we're on the 4 hour. I'm sorry. We got to go to the daily. I was wondering why that looked a little weird. So we had a lower low here on December 11th and a higher low here, and yet the opposite on the RSI, which tells me that we are continuing upwards and that this is just an adjustment here. We had been forming this trend on the RSI, so we just need to come down here and reset a little bit, start forming a new one. That's all we're doing. But boom. Now, I predicted last week that we would come up here with our green candles up this way, and so we didn't do that. Continued our little pullback here within our bull flag channel for a little bit longer, but I do believe that we will. We'll see a massive move upwards here. How massive, I don't know. I do believe we will get back. We are headed back up into this area. So what are we doing here? We're retesting a support level. And if we go back here to days of yore, I've circled all these various here clear. Well, you know what? Let me even zoom in here. We'll look at this a little bit closer. So this is where we're at. Is there one more? Oh, there is one more. This is where we're at. We're testing these support and resistance areas here from back in January and February of 21. This whole range of here, there's a variety of them at different levels. And even up here, 42. So I've just circled the general regions of support and resistance that we are testing, and you got a whole bunch right here. Whole bunch of little daily candles. So that's what we're doing, and that's a good sign because once everyone's decided that we've thoroughly tested this area, then what we will do is be continuing onwards and upwards here. And I do believe we got massive moves coming. I'm still sticking to this range of about 62,000. Now, what's interesting, yeah, look at that. The purple channel still gets us to 62,000. About February. And we may come up only to 58 mid-January to 62 later on in January. Don't know. We'll just have to get a feel for things once we get there. Now, speaking of support and resistance, it was brought up to me that in Bitcoin's past, and this isn't entirely true, that we have tested our base that we form here. Let's get rid of all these red numbers over there. So we formed a base and retested it. And I suppose they're talking about this right here. We've come up and retested. It had a big dump to retest some sort of support. What kind of support were we building here? All I see is that we have this this other high right here, the support we're forming is down here. I don't see us coming down and retesting that. So no, not true for that cycle. So what we do here? Came down, formed support. See, I don't even know what they're talking about. Is it? This is it right here. This big dump right here, where we retested our base that we had formed. I'll give you that for this area here. Did form support. We did form structure on top of this previous structure here. Retested that for support very quickly and moved on. And so, yeah, I will give you that. We did come down here and retest. But also, what we did here, it's important to note, is that we really retested. We did two things. We did that and we retested this green parallel channel that we'd been traveling in as support. So you can look at that both ways. So that was that cycle. So we had one cycle where we tested a previous high, didn't have anything to do with testing support. Had this one where, yeah, you can say we did test support that we had built. Now you have here 2019 and 2020, 18. I don't know exactly what support you're talking about and what retest you're talking about. I guess maybe right here we did come up and jump down. Let's see what kind of a dump that is. About 20% dump. Um, to what level? I mean, I do see previous highs here that we had. This one and this, but we did come through here and this level acted as support, but we didn't really, there wasn't really a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's not like there's a clear level that we did build support in. This is just like a big range that we traded in. Here, this is a, almost a 40% range that we traded in. That's not really creating like this level of support that we need to come back down and retest. I mean, we had done that here. If you want to, there's nothing clear. This is all a mess. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So saying that we had to come back down and build, retest some sort of base that we built, I don't follow that argument. But what we did do again right here, when we did come down here, is what? Retested the green parallel channel for support. This is channel upon channel upon channel that we've been trading in. Now, so I will buy into that theory that we need to retest a base to some extent. But what we have done here is that we built this base right here on top of after the FTX collapse. We built this base at 25.3. And we did come down and retest that very clearly. Not once, but twice. And retested it and tested it. We gave that 25.3 level a thorough retesting before moving onwards and upwards in this orange parallel channel here. Now, the height of all that we did was about 31,000, people are saying. And it's not clear. There's not any specific number, but between upper 31 something and lower 31 something. I have my line drawn at about 31.1, slightly under 31.1. Um, and I remember, and I didn't bother looking up the video, but at the time when we had started busting a move, I remember doing a video where I was looking for a retest of this support, and I said, well, there you go, we had it. I'm like, I wonder if that was it, and we're just gonna move on. And I believe that's what happened. After we thoroughly retested 25.3, Bitcoin said, hey, you know what? I got things to do. I'm not going to screw around here like I did with 25.3 and stay here for weeks and months on end retesting this 31.1. So if we go into an hourly time frame, you know what? And we really have to go into a 5 minute, because unless you were paying attention to the 5 minute chart, you missed this retest of the 31.1. Excuse me. So we have to go way back in time. Way back in time to October 23rd. There we are. There's our white line at 31.1. What's it at? It's 31 and barely 31. Oh, it's at 30. Oh, it's at 39.75. So I remember when we did this because I was excited about the breakout we were about to have. And you can see how we kind of worked our way up to this white line. And by the way, so that new purple channel, that you can see where it's interacted with this area in the past. Um, so here it is. We came right up, tested that, fell back down, came back up, tested it, broke through. Mind you, this isn't a 1 hour, 4 hour, daily candle retest. So a lot of people won't believe this is valid, but I think it is. If in fact you're buying into the theory that it's necessary that we do have this retest, I don't think it is. And to the extent that it is, I think this fulfills that retest good enough. Came up through it, came back down, retested it, broke up through it, came back down, retested it, and said, all right, that's enough for me. We're moving on. You know what? This is, if I go on an hourly, is it going to take me back out? Oh, it should be easy to get back there. Oh, yeah, here we are. So you got hourly, as you can see where we came down here and got all bought back up and closed. Closed an hourly candle right there. Came down and closed an hourly candle there. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Not any clear candle body closures there. But it is what it is. So that's my retest of 31.1, and I'm sticking to it. Or 31,000 or whatever number you want to put there. Now, what is clear about the past, let's go to a weekly time frame. Where's my weeks? There we are. We're turning on the Gaussian channel. Oh, I guess we did. We have come back after a rally upwards and come back down and retested the Gaussian channel. Same. Well, see that we're not testing the Gaussian channel here. We're testing the green parallel channel. It looks like we did because I got all these green colors here, but no. Kind of. So we kind of did here. We really retested the Gaussian channel back here. Here after coming through, we retested it here. Um, but what we did here in the past is that after coming through the Gaussian channel here, we built structure on top of it for a long, long time, and then had a big break upwards and come back down and arguably retested. No, 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 no. Sorry, wrong. If you zoom in more, what we did here is we came up. This doesn't look as big as it is, but if you measure from where we broke out to the top there, that's a 32% move. So we came up 32% out of the channel, came back down, retested it, and then had long sideways um, structure building on top of the channel there. That was in 2015. Similarly, back here, huge. Now, this is even bigger. This is probably, let's see how big this is. This is ginormous. It's like an 85% move. Yeah, I remember that was like 90%. Big move upwards out of the Gaussian channel, came back down, retested it. Then went sideways for a long, long time before breaking upwards. Here in 2019, same thing. Big move out of the Gaussian channel, came back down and retested it before going sideways, aside from COVID. Went sideways for a long time after that. We're doing it differently this time. And I pointed this out a long, long time ago. Here, after coming up through the Gaussian channel, we went sideways for a long time. We had this breakout here. What is it from the bottom to the top there? It's about a 27% move from the mean band of the Gaussian channel to where we broke out here. Um, so arguably, this is where we broke out, came back down and retested it, but we're doing it all with the mean band and not the top of the daily Gaussian channel. But what we did do differently here is we formed a lot of structure for a long time here. It's just different. It's just different. So you'd imagine once we come out here, it's not going to play the same way. We did a lot of, and this is where we thoroughly retested this base here that we had built. So we built solid base here. And now we're moving onwards and upwards. And what we're doing currently is we did a little test here and we're playing catch up. We don't need to be doing any more testing of 31. We're bypassing that, saying our little let me get these numbers out of the way. Our little test back here was good enough. We've moved onwards and upwards. And now what we're doing is we're testing this 48 or 41 region where I showed you all these green circles way back in uh, 2021 and 2022. So we're retesting that area, and that'll give us the support that we need to move onwards and upwards. Um, and I think that we're thoroughly doing that in this prolonged consolidation that we've had here. The fourth, and today's now this 2 weeks that we've stayed here in this area, um, consolidating here and retesting that 41,000 level of support. And I think we're ready to move on from here. And as I've been talking, we're up to 41.3. So that's good. It does look like we're having a little bit of a bounce here. Hopefully that'll continue throughout the rest of the day. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so that's enough of Bitcoin. Tested 25.3, tested 31, and now testing 41. Once this holds, that's just, it's letting the world know that anything below it is going to hold. Anyway, I don't. I've already stated that I don't think we're ever going to close that 30. I don't think we're going below this level. Oh, so what we did do here is retested the top of the green. I forgot. I left that part out. You can clearly see that we tested the top of the green parallel channel, which is totally consistent with what we've done in the past when we've had a pullback. Now, the pullback that everyone's looking for and talking about, because everybody's always looking for a big, massive dump, and they will talk about it continuously, and they have. This whole time, everybody's been talking, a pullback to 21, a pullback to 30 something. I think a pullback to, even now, people are saying 37, 38, a pullback to those levels is possible. No, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that 39.6 gap on the CME futures is ever going to get closed. I don't think we're going to go back down. Could we? Yeah. Could we come down to this white line? Yeah, we could. We could, and we're very close. I think that's a trap, though. That gap is a trap, and I don't think we're ever coming down any. If we do, it'd be for a split second. But I truly believe that we are not going back down below the screen parallel channel, probably even ever again, even in the next bear market. Let's see. Do I have us coming back down in the next bear market? $20.26. Oh yeah, we will come back down into the green channel in the next bear market. Probably to the bottom of the green channel, and even possibly to retest the top of the white channel. So we will come back down and see these guys once again later on, many years from now. All right, so quickly, I've been rambling on for a lot longer than I thought I was going to. Everything's deep in the red. Some things are green, very few. Helium's still going. It did have a big pullback, but still seeing some more gains on that. That's crazy. Um, oh, really? Render's back in the green. It did take quite a dump. Let's go look at Render real quickly. Oh, you know what? We got to go to a different chart. Oh, here we go. We already got it pulled up. So this is interesting because Render's reclaiming this orange parallel channel. So we'll keep an eye on the purple channel that Bitcoin possibly could be moving into, or see if Bitcoin reclaims the purple parallel channel, because we did fall out of it a bit here, wicked out here. So that's good to see. And Render is, amazingly, has been following my purple line, kind of, pretty much. Pulled back here instead of there, but now we're going to probably come back up here to probably come right back up to the top here, about 535 at the top of this parallel channel here, and then we'll reevaluate things at that point. Yeah, I think we're gone down as far as we're going, and we're starting to move back upwards across the board. Let's look at Solana now. Solana, okay, it's back up to 70. It was at 60 something. So this is a mess with Solana because we've been snaking we've been snaking around the center line of a parallel channel. This is on a daily. If you go on an hourly, it's much clearer. How we've just been snaking back and forth along the center line of this parallel channel here. Now I've shown that we have been forming a bunch of invert head and shoulders here, inverse head and shoulders repeatedly, one after another, just reversing us back and forth across the center line here, this white center line, back and forth, back and forth. The last one we did was pointing us back downwards. However, immediately we're starting to form another one right here, and this will probably come up, and then we'll come down here and form another one. And it's much clearer. I think I did it here. Well, I don't know if I didn't do the. You can see what we're doing a lot clearer here as we. Oh, this is on a weekly. What the hell's going on here? As we're staking along the center line here. That's what was hidden underneath all those lines on the other chart. And so now this one, and another one over here will be our inverse head and shoulders, taking us back up to the top of this channel. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're doing with Solana. So possibly we could see up around. I don't think we'll get up above 90 by the end of the year. But let's continue trading between 65 and 90. I don't even think we'll come all the way down here. We haven't yet. Maybe we could. I don't know. Solana's really not traveling up very rapidly. It needs to be moving up a lot faster, but it's doing okay. And I believe that's because of all the selling pressure that it's getting from FTX. It's about 10%, I think, I figured out, of its volume. Now, here, once again, see, this is important to point out because on the daily time frame, and we're seeing this across the board, while we have this reset here, and you see a lower low on the RSI, it's a higher low on the chart, which indicates that we're going to move. We're moving upwards still. um, And let's go to the overall total 3, which is the altcoin overall. Now, again, with the total 3, we did fall out of this channel here, like on Render and like on Bitcoin. However, unlike Bitcoin, these altcoins are reclaiming the channel. So we'll just see what happens the rest of the day. This is telling me that this is our low, and we're gonna bounce. We're gonna bounce and go up here, and we are on our way to 560, our target from the inverse head and shoulders that we had formed on the much bigger total 3 market cap is 560, and I don't really see anything that gets us here. I imagine we'll get up to 560 and then possibly, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe scoot along the top of this center line for a while. Let's see, there was, so this is the big inverse head and shoulders. One, shoulder, head, shoulder, with the neckline here that we had broken out of right here. And on our way up to 560. It's hard to tell what's going to happen at that point. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, also what we're doing here on the total 3 and on a lot of the other altcoins is that we're coming up to a point here from this dump down in May of 22 where we just fell and then had some resistance here, ran into support and resistance. This is support and resistance area. And so we haven't been able to get above this yet. And this is an area we're retesting with a lot of the altcoins. And once this breaks, there's going to be a big move upwards. And on a lot of the other altcoins, this is forming the top of a triangular pattern. Let's see, maybe we can go to like Cardano, I think was showing it. Did I draw it on here? I think we have to go to maybe a different chart. No. I guess maybe it was on this one. No. That's really, really weird. Oh, this is on an hourly. Maybe if I go out onto a daily. Oh, there we go. There's a lot more lines right there. Doesn't really show a whole heck of a lot, but what it does show on the grander scheme of things, we have this purple parallel channel with this aqua center line. Is it bigger than that? Is it much? Oh, it is much bigger. So we have the top of this purple channel at our all-time high at $3. And the bottom here, not at the bottom of COVID, but almost. And the center line that clearly runs through here. The top of the channel also hits there. And all the other channels here are parallel to that. And these are all parallel to one another. So really, I just have two channels running at different slopes. And what Cardano did on this most recent move clearly is move up to the center line of this channel right here, which also coincides with this high here in February of 23, this one of April of 23, and this low. Oh my God. Oh, that's interesting. That's the October 13th low. Okay. Oh, that's really, really nice. And so Cardano came right up to there and got rejected off of it. Um, we have found support here on this purple line, which also has ties in with these other spots here. And it's parallel to the channel. So I imagine this is a low here. You know what? I really hope we don't consolidate through the end of the year. That would be crazy. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Yeah, let's come way down. What was helium's high? Helium's high was about $9. We're back up to 790 after falling to 660. That's good. That's a good sign. Okay, before we go, let's go back and look at Bitcoin. Let's see what pre futures is trading at about $185 premium to spot. That's not a lot, but we are back up to 41,380. This is good. It's moving. We're moving upwards a little bit here. Oh, we don't want to be on this chart, but no. Um, oh my God, 41,400. Okay, could be seeing a short squeeze here, which is what you get when you think we're going to close that gap, and we're not. It's a big shakeout, fake out, I'm telling you. And we are now in the green for the day. Yeah, look at that. We're making a nice move. So I'm glad that I rambled on long enough to see this. So from our bottom here at the top of the green parallel channel to where we're at now, oh, we come up almost 2.5%. That's pretty good for Bitcoin. And we could finish the day green. So we'll see what happens. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Oh, you know what I'm seeing right here? I'm seeing this little valley here. I'd like to see what happens here. We break up through there. Hold this as support. We might not see a big explosion today, but hopefully this week we'll see a move back up to to an all a new high for the year around 48,000, possibly this week. Could happen. All right, see you next time.